Hi everyone, let me introduce myself. I'm Mahrani from Telco Startup Company. Today's topic is free internet access pros and cons. My talk is particularly relevant to those of us who looking for free internet at public places such as library, restaurants, or city park. I've divided my talk into three main parts. First of all, I'll tell you about internet access and free internet. After that, I'll describe the pros and cons using free internet, and finally the conclusion of this topic. My talk will take about 5 until 10 minutes. Don't worry about taking notes. I'll email the PowerPoint presentation to you. There will be time for question after my presentation. Okay, let's start with internet access. Internet access is the process of connecting to the internet using personal computers, laptops, or mobile devices by user or enterprises. Internet access enables individuals or organizations to avail internet service or web-based services. Internet access is often provided at home, schools, workplaces, public places, internet cafes, libraries, and other locations. The internet began to gain popularity with dial-up internet access. In a relatively short time, internet access technology changed, providing faster and more reliable options. Currently, broadband technologies such as cable internet and ADSL are the most widely used methods for internet access. The speed, cost, reliability, and availability of internet access depends on the region, internet service provider, and type of connection. There are many different ways to obtain internet access, including wireless connection, mobile connection, hotspots, dial-up, broadband, DSL, or satellite. Okay, next slide is how can free internet implemented at public places? Before we go to how can free internet implemented, we must know about access point. Access point functions are not given much attention, even though access points have an important role in connectivity. The function of the access point is very important in an internet connectivity. With this access point, Wi-Fi and internet networks can be connected to your device. It can be used to provide network connectivity in an office environment, enabling employees to work anywhere in the office and stay connected to the network. The access point function is also used in the installation of Wi-Fi hotspots in public places. Basically, the working principle and function of an access point is to broadcast a wireless signal that the computer can detect. Then the computer can connect to the network without using any cable. Okay, we enter to the pros of accessing free internet. The pros is most internet connections at public places are free, hence anybody can use them. This means that you will be able to save your internet costs as well as monthly mobile data expenses. In addition to this, free internet facilities create a working environment where you can work, have coffee or tea, and relax at the same time. And the second is public internet connection promotes productivity. The world is moving at a faster pace and people have lesser time to engage in activities they once had a lot of time for. The industry is competitive and the clock is ticking. Anything that supports mobility promotes productivity. Public Wi-Fi is usually available in important commercial places such as airports, malls, cafes, railways, and other similar zones to promote mobility among customers. In such a time, people often choose restaurants and cafes with internet connection to work or have business meetings so that no time is wasted. And next, can work wonders in case of an emergency. You cannot predict the occurrence of an emergency. It can happen anywhere, anytime, without prior notice. Public Wi-Fi acts like a charm in case of emergencies and can bring with a lot of benefits to bring the situation under control. For example, the cellular network on your phone cell suddenly loses signal. Through the aid of public Wi-Fi, you will be able to inform their location and safety status to the authorities in general and their near and dear ones at times of emergencies, thereby quickening up the search and rescue process, if any. Okay, we had already mentioned the pros of internet free. Now we're going to the cons. And the first is annoying advertisement. Many public internet services may bombard your devices with ads as soon as you get onto their connection. Now, this is a trick of making money, to be honest. The internet service is free, and they aren't exactly taking a dime from you for it. But on the other hand, they are actually receiving a healthy paycheck from the ad companies as a result of your clicks. This increased bombardment of ads does get annoying after a fair bit of time. Okay, the second is low security. A public Wi-Fi network has several security issues. That's because several people access the network at the same time on the same spot. So, if your device's firewall is not up to the mark at the time of your access, you are at high risk of sending out confidential data like password, PIN, or anything else over the network. The simple advice is not to access any sort of confidential data while you are on public networks. And then, low speed. A public Wi-Fi network is usually accessed by several people at the same time. This results in a considerable loss of bandwidth, resulting in a slow network speed. Usually, it's very slow as compared to one's personal mobile internet connection. This causes frustration and consumes excessive time. Sometimes the connection even goes down completely as a result of an increased user load, which becomes particularly annoying after some time. Taking forever for a page to load that usually loads in a split second, this act is severely disliked by users. Now, this is a problem that needs to be solved as soon as possible. Okay, and then we are going to the last, the conclusion. Using public Wi-Fi has its pros and cons. Like every other technological advancement that comes with advantages and disadvantages both, it should be noted that free Wi-Fi in public places can always be available if slow speed and traffic crashing isn't a mighty issue. As for security, one can download antivirus software and update the gadget settings to prevent virtual hackers from accessing one's system. Let me just finish with the question. What do you reckon now? Weigh the pros and cons individually and decide on the fact whether public Wi-Fi is right up to the mark or not. And that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for your time and attention.